Brevin, just looking around my room, got a couple of cool things like this. This is an autographed Pete Rose ball. Pretty cool right there, right? It's a National League All-Star Game ball. And then right here over my shoulder is one of my favorites. All right, I'm going to come this way. First, we got Stromile Swift.
Okay, Stro Show.
What?
Okay, BK. There he is.
There's a BK autograph and Wes Person. It's a threefer with Wes Person, BK, and Stromeal. How about that? That's kind of
How about
neat.
that? Wes Person, my teammate on two teams in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we started in
he
Cleveland. He was in Cleveland with me also.
all right. He was a shooter.
Boy, not many that shot it as well as he did and as consistently as he did, boy. And he would get it off quick. And say this much, he was the epitome of I'm going to do what's my strength. So when we were in Cleveland, more in Cleveland than in Memphis, but when we were in Cleveland, it was if he got a rebound, there was no dribbling. It was just throw me the ball and run as fast as he could down the floor to spot up to get ready for a shot. But I'm talking about yeah, you want to say he played to his strengths, and it was fantastic to be able to play with the great West Person.
He was one of my favorite early Grizzlies. In I loved him. He was fantastic. The frenzy that's been going on over the last week. Have you been able to
Whew.
keep up?
Yeah, as long as our group text keeps blowing up with every move that gets made throughout the NBA that doesn't have anything to do with the Memphis Grizzlies, then I'm going to continue to stay
Right.
abreast of what is going on. So,
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's great to get that information. Although it's gone a little crazy. I mean, my phone was dinging constantly during this free agency
yes,
period as we're getting the alert, and
yes.
I'm seeing the alerts, and then I get the message, and I'm like, yeah, I saw it, but yeah, it was fun. It's fun. It's fun to get those alerts, and it's been a fun free agency frenzy, which we will talk about here on
Yes.
this program, and we'll get into it. This is Night Court. I'm Rob Fisher. He's Brevin Knight. We come to you wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen, and of course, you can watch every week as well on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. And you can watch the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at the Fish Nation at Brevin Knight 22. The show is at Night Court 22. We got a lot of basketball to get into since we last talked. We
Yes.
figured out the draft. We talked draft that night of the draft. I think we from Kenny to you to me at the end. I think we all were on Cedric Coward, and look at there, Grizzlies drafted the guy.
And whoever the guy was at Target that ran into Chris Vernon. And so
That's
it's just
right.
everybody was high on Coward, even if you didn't know that you were high on him. And so,
Mhm.
uh, the metrics and all of the video that you see on him, it's very intriguing to see how he can fit because now you talk about him with a Jalen Wells in terms of young guys who have the ability to defend, and defending is a big part of what they do, but they also have a level of basketball IQ to go along with some offensive skill. And so it's gonna be intriguing to see how it all translates, especially coming off of a mostly injured last season. Uh, but there was something in him, I would say, that had to be good also because he also had the offer to go to Duke this year after
Yeah.
only playing 6 games last year. So there's something there about what with all the hype that has been about him. And so I'm excited to see him in action.
And after draft night, I'm kind of this way every year. My team likes him, so I like him. I mean, you didn't read anything bad about the kid, and really to hear him talk in the press conference settings and in interview settings, he Chris Vernon used the word. He sounds very wise for his age, and I think he's an impressive young man, and I like that about him as well. I also like that he's a 3-and-D type guy. You know, something the Grizzlies have really always looked for and have been searching for years. And maybe he's that guy. I don't know, but um, I also like the second round picks, bro. The thing I like about the second round picks is they're two guys who played a lot of college basketball.
Yes,
I think
yes.
taking shots at
And
guys that have played a lot of college basketball can pay off.
well, it has paid off for our franchise. If you want to talk, if you can go down the list of guys with this team that have been 3 to 4 year players, and then what they have been able to do in terms of helping the team right away on this team. We already see what Desmond Bain has been able to ascend to. You see what Conchar has been able to do and how he's contributed to teams. And so that you could keep going on and more names. And so again, I just thought that they did a good job with being able to create some talent that creates with some athleticism, created with some excitement. And so
Yeah.
that is uh those are things that you need when you want to, because at the end of the day I always say it's still a business. And what keeps people coming and wanting to be there is if there's a level of excitement to your game, and I thought they did a good job of doing that with their draft picks.
I think a lot of people thought the Grizzlies then after the draft, then free agency starts, and Shams is tweeting the first 20 minutes. It's all Grizzlies stuff, and I think everybody was impressed with what the Grizzlies got done in such a quick fashion. Number one, they do sign Santi to 3 years, $52 million. They're going to keep him around. Cam Spencer agrees to a 2 year, $4.5 million fully guaranteed contract. Congratulations to him on getting the
Hmm.
guaranteed deal. And then Jaren signs a 5 year, $240 million contract as well. They lock that up and get that done. And then it was kind of like, all right, let's take care of all our stuff right now before we go out and get other stuff. And the Grizzlies took care of the stuff they needed to take care of.
Yeah, I think those are all important pieces that you talk about. Of course, Jaren being the biggest of them all, and nice to be able to wrap him up for the next 5 years. And then Santi, who was just also an integral part of what this team, I think, looks at themselves being as they move forward, which is you want to have versatility, and that's what Santi brings to the table for this Grizzlies team. Shot the three ball a lot better last year. Um, didn't just rely on the three ball. And I thought the other thing that was big for him was the rebounding was really good. But we saw a level, we saw a step up in physicality for Santi. And when other people were physical with him, we saw less times of the overreacting to it or the wanting to try to get a call from it. We saw more
Right.
playing through those situations. And so I think in the people that they were able to re-sign, that they were their own guys, really good. Cam Spencer, he has just that mentality that you would like to have on your basketball team, a guy that can come in and just change a tone and tenor. But every day in practice, you know he's going to work hard, which in turn will push his other teammates.
Can he get shots with regular minutes? Because
Yeah,
he can knock him down if he can get him.
I think he moves well enough that he can get them. And I think they'll be able to move the ball well enough, and it all depends on what the lineups are on the floor with how
Sure.
those shots will come. But another one of those guys who's high basketball IQ, really good motor, energy wise, and you don't get to this point without knowing how to get those shots off. The thing is just a matter of will you get those opportunities to get those shots off.
Right, right. Then the Grizzlies agree to a deal, reportedly, allegedly. What all of these are just alleged and
Yeah,
reported.
right.
Um, Ty Jerome, 3 years, $28 million deal with a player option in year three. We saw him kick our ass last year.
And I'm gonna tell you this much: that is a steal. In today's day, with the type money and the impact that he had on that Cavaliers team, to get him at that number, I know the Grizzlies had to feel good, and it's one of those instances where when somebody just consistently does it against you, then and you see it in other games and other film, then it definitely makes that player become even more. You feel like, oh, this is a guy that I think could help us, and I think listen, he brings a level of a little nastiness to his game. Like he's a little cocky with how he plays, but very good with creating shots offensively, and then it gives a nice defensive effort also.
Well, what you said about him and what I like about him is I didn't like him.
Yep. 100%. 100. Well, I think that's the way that we described him on a pregame show or whenever we talked about him.
Right. One of those love to have him, hate to play against him guys. Yeah, absolutely. So love to have him a part of the team. And then the Jaren has turf toe and has to have a procedure to repair it. He should. They'll be reevaluated in 12 weeks, which takes us to the end of September. First preseason games are the first couple weeks of October. It's I mean,
Those
it's
are
one thing after another, dude. Now, I guess the thing I'll say is, Dez had a similar injury, which at the time they described as kind of like turf toe, and he sat out and then he played the rest of the season and was never the same the rest of that season. So getting it taken care of is very important. It's very early in the summer. We've got plenty of time to get it taken care of, and hopefully Jaren comes back. I think the other good thing is Jaren has been a fast healer in the past. So if he misses a game or two, so be it. But at least it's getting taken care of now.
Well, the other thing, think about last year, he hurt the hamstring in the first preseason game, missed all of the preseason, missed the first two games, I think, of the regular season, but
Yeah.
then hit the ground running from that point on throughout the year, and towards the end of the year, a little bit wasn't as consistent as we saw him be, but there were a lot of things going on at that point uh, with this team, and so I think there at least it's the time frame really puts him to where it doesn't have to really impact the season. And we've seen him be able to bounce back the way he did last year. So I'm confident that at least we can, it shouldn't be too much into the regular season that we don't see him.
This next question, I have the correct answer.
Uh
So I'm just gonna check
oh.
and see if you agree with this answer. Are the Grizzlies better than they were last year at this point?
Are they better at this point? If they did not have all of the injuries,
Yeah. And let's expect that something will be done. I mean, I still think more will be done, right? I mean, you have to get a big guy.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I think.
But with what they've done so far, are they close to being better? Are they on the path to being better?
I think they're on the path to being better. I don't think they're better yet because the talent that they have been able to bring in at this point, I don't think supersedes the cohesion and camaraderie that team had in order to be as good as they were. Like the understanding of the roles, there's people really stepped up. If you go last year, it was Scottie Pippen Jr. and Santi and the guys off of the bench that really stepped up. Jaron also took steps forward. Jalen did for the entire season with being able to step into that position. So you had, and then Zach came on as the season went along, BC looked like BC. So there were a lot of things and a lot of factors that made that team be better. I think that this be as good as they were. I think that the pieces that they have put them in a position to be close uh, to what that is, but I don't think they're better right now, um, per se, with what has been done than where they were last year. And a lot of
Yeah,
that is
that's a
just
pretty good
because a
answer.
lot of that, yeah, a lot of that is just is the Desmond is how much Des really meant to this
Sure.
team, and I don't think we're going to add, you're not going to expect that from KCP, and with Ty Jerome, depending on what his role is, he won't be in a role in a position to do that. So, um, as you said, I'm like you. I think more will be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good answer. The correct answer is the Grizzlies will be better if Ja plays 70 games. We can talk all we want about who's going to play where and who's going to get the minutes and Jalen's minutes and Coward's minutes and KCP, is he starting? Is he coming off the bench? And is Scotty the backup point guard? And Ty Jerome, what sort of role is he going to have? And can he be really big for us? And, how's Brandon Clark? We can talk all of that stuff. What matters for this team's success is that John Morant's playing 70 games. Period. End of radio show. That's the problem. See, when we're on the radio and we're hosting radio shows or other shows, you got to have stuff to talk about. And I just ended that conversation. It's over.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk about other than him playing a number of games.
Well, you know what? I can tell you this much. I want to argue with you, but I can't argue with you. Because at the end of the day, the team is still built around him being great and available, and Jaren being great and available.
Yeah. Period. End of conversation.
I
Boring, but end. That's the end. All right. Luke Kennard, he's gone. 1 year, $11 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, I think the Luke experiment had reached, it reached its end of its rope. But
Yeah.
I thought that it was a tenure for him. They gave him a chance to kind of show himself in a different light, to being more than just a 3-point shooter. But but he still can be an efficient 3-point shooter as long as you are putting him in the right position to get the shots. Um,
Right.
we know that his deficiency for him is going to be on the defensive side, but I gave him credit this year in that you don't have to be great at it. You just got to try. And I never felt like he wasn't trying defensively. And
Right.
so, I wish him luck with a Trey Young type player who is going to be able to break the defense down and make the play. It's nice to have somebody like Luke that can make shots.
And Luke, they're probably going to tell you the same thing. When you get the ball in those situations, shoot it, man. Let it go. Let it go. You're going to hear the same thing there that you heard here. Let it go.
Yeah,
You're
you
too good of a shooter not to shoot, man.
don't worry about don't the percentage is gonna take care of itself. Like
Yeah.
you shoot it so good that you can still make contested threes.
Yeah. All right, let's run down these.
All right.
Miles Turner goes to the Bucks. Damian Lillard released, and they also signed Gary Harris as well. But Miles Turner, a bit of a shock. Miles Turner leaves Indiana, goes to Milwaukee to begin with, and then Lillard being waived at this point, and his contract being stretched out.
Yeah, I mean first off, Damian Lillard's got it. He's got it made nicely. He can now rehab to get himself all the way right. Then he can pick whatever team he wants to go to and not feel stressed in any way about having to sign some type of deal. Like so
Right.
he can go and be a veterans minimum guy because he's already making the millions from Milwaukee, so that puts him in a really good position. And the Brook with Miles Turner, Brooke Lopez, I don't think that really moves the needle much with that switch in players, except you get a little bit younger, I think, with Miles Turner
Yeah.
than you do with Brooke Lopez. But they pretty much do the same thing. Guys who can be rim protectors. They stretch the floor with the 3-point shot. Um, Miles may do a little bit more with screening and rolling and being able to finish a little bit better, but I don't know how much that is an enticing move for Giannis to not think about having a trade.
Interesting. Lonzo traded to the Cavs.
Well, the thing for that is, I think it's good, and that if he's healthy, then he gives you a dynamic point guard who is very good at making plays for others, and it really started to do his career like Jason Kidd in that they did a lot of just downhill scoring in the paint, mid range at the rim, but then was able to evolve their careers to be able to knock down standstill threes, which is where he was going until the injuries just kind of derailed his career. So I thought that was a big one for them.
Yeah. The Denver Nuggets acquired Cam Johnson from Brooklyn in exchange for Michael Porter Jr. They signed Jonas Valanciunas to back up at center. Bruce Brown has come back to the Nuggets. He signs a 1 year deal with them, and they signed Tim Hardaway Jr. to a 1 year deal. I like what the Nuggets are doing because they're not necessarily retooling, they're just kind of reshaping, remolding, I think, what they have.
Yeah, I thought they just did a good job with going and finding NBA vets to because that is kind of their I think their mindset is that they're still in the win now phase,
Mm-hmm.
and I think these are they but what they got vet guys, but they got some young vets still, and so it'll be interesting to see how it all comes together because not only you're adding a lot of new pieces, you're now giving uh, Adelman an entire season to be able to see what can he do with these changes that they've made. So
Right.
it'll be interesting because they've gotten used to being a winning franchise to be competing. So I don't think they want to change those expectations.
Michael Porter Jr. going to Brooklyn. Ugh.
I mean, I tell you this point, like, Brooklyn is starting to become that team that is it's one of those teams you go to where not that it's a bad organization. So I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like that's purgatory in some way. Like you're there just in a holdover position until they make the decision to do something else. It's a very weird franchise at this point.
Yes. The Rockets have been very active. Of course, the move for Kevin Durant, and then they signed Dorian Finney-Smith. Jabari Smith gets an extension. They bring Clint Capella back on a 3 year deal. Houston trying to bolster themselves.
Houston will be a problem next season. And what they're doing is they understand that the stars that they're going to rely upon. Uh, they want them to be their offensive minded guy, and we're going to put enough
Right.
other rough, rugged, really good role people around you, and so I think they're going to be good because they're going to be able to be physical, nasty, athletic, and skilled all at once being on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. Do you like Dallas signing D'Angelo Russell?
He's familiar with the city, with the organization. Um,
With AD?
he's familiar with AD, and they need somebody to be able to man it until Kyrie Irving is able to get back, which will be
Yeah.
later in the season. I would anticipate. So I think it's the thing with D'Angelo Russell is I don't think anyone has ever questioned can he play? Like there's never been a question of his skill. It was just going to be decision making, and I think
Right.
Dallas, you hope with all of the other pieces around, he can feel comfortable enough to not have to do more than get others involved and then do himself. I think it was a good move for them.
Luca and the Lakers, they got their big man, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is the Lakers selection for their big man of choice.
Not sold on this at all.
No?
I'm not.
Did you
I'm
know that the most consecutive seasons averaging 10 plus rebounds, Rudy Gobert's done it 10 consecutive seasons. Giannis has done it 8. DeAndre Ayton has done it 7.
He is the new age Kevin Love.
Is he
We
that good?
no in this no just in this way, and that you have these stats, but I don't know if they really mean anything. Like
Right.
it's not impacting the team in terms of wins and losses. Like
Yeah.
they're empty stats, and so I just I don't. I don't know. And he's injury prone. I don't know if he's physical enough. It'll be interesting. And you got enough people that play on the perimeter. He's not a big 3-point shooting big. He's more of a pick and pop shooting big. He can shoot the three. I mean, it's he's a skilled player. I don't he doesn't exude uh competitor to me.
Yeah. Here are the lists of number one overall picks from the lottery era to play for the Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal, really good one, Hall of
Okay.
Famer.
Uh-huh. He's pretty good.
Joe Joe Smith,
Joe
Kwame
Smith,
Kwame
Maryland.
Brown,
Right.
the former Memphis Grizzly Kwame Brown.
Right. I played with two,
Uh,
so I played with two so far.
yeah, LeBron,
You know.
Dwight Howard,
Right.
Andrew Bogut,
Wow.
Anthony Davis, and now DeAndre Ayton. None of them were drafted by the Lakers. None of them, but they were all brought in as former number one picks. How about that? All right. Good luck to DeAndre
That's
Ayton.
the Lakers. The Lakers, in their mindset, that you were number one for a reason. We think we can get it out of you.
Right. They're one of those teams. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we can turn you around.
we can do it. We can do it. Yeah. Kevon Looney agreed to a 2-year deal with the Pelicans.
Yeah, well, that was they. That's nice to have a backup because the thing that was a problem for them was when Eves Messi went out the game. It was just super sized down, and so
Right.
it's nice to get a big in there as a vet who can also help Messi in his growth.
Yeah. Colin Sexton traded to the Hornets for Yusuf Nurkic.
Uh, a little bit of that might be insurance for LaMelo. With you talk about the lack of games that John Morant has played due to various injuries. That's LaMelo Ball is in that same boat, and so
Yeah.
I think that helps. That gives them the insurance, but it also gives a little toughness also for their team.
Jordan Clarkson apparently going to go to the Knicks.
Well, that's mm, The Knicks, I guess they would. They needed to have more from their bench.
Hmm.
Was a big thing for them, and
Yes.
the
Well,
thing
and
for
you know
Joe.
the new coach is going to use the bench more than the old coach.
Yes, well,
I mean,
but well, that that's the given that they're going to be there. But you would like to have some you would like to have some really talented guys when you look down there to put these guys in, and Jordan Clarkson is a role that he has thrived in for the majority of his career.
yeah. Jake LaRavia to the Lakers.
The first call that they wanted to make was to Jake LaRavia. How about that? We went from Jake. Nobody really didn't even think uh, he was going to be able to have the confidence to be an NBA player. Then he starts to gain his confidence here, and he goes to Sacramento, kicks our ass, has a good season after the trade in Sacramento, and then the Lakers say he was the first name call that they wanted to make, and now signs with the
Wow.
Lakers.
Jake LaRavia, 2 years, $12 million for him going to the Lakers. Good for him. Brooke Lopez, 2 years, $18 million for the Clippers.
Yeah, that's a nice. It's a nice 1-2 punch with Zubac.
Yeah.
Zubac with the more physical roll to the basket finisher, and Brooke is very comfortable in that home, being able to pick and pop and shoot the three. And so you always are able to have a skilled big at what they do well on the floor, and skilled 7-footers at that.
Dennis Schroeder passed you, joining his 10th team, the Sacramento Kings.
He's won it.
Heck. I,
If he wasn't won it, then that would be it.
yeah. Julius Randle and Naz Reid both staying in Minnesota. The Hawks getting Nikhil Alexander Walker. That's a good. I mean, the Hawks are making some moves.
Yeah, a little shooting, little defense, and not just defense, little versatility is what Alexander Walker was able to show, is that he's more than just, man, a guy that hustles a lot on the floor.
Yeah. And then let's see, Tyus Jones going to the Orlando Magic. So congratulations to Tyus. He and Dez will be reunited.
Boy, that's those guys going they're going to really enjoy life down there in Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando has put together a really nice team. They
Yeah.
put together
Yeah.
they put together a really nice team, and if I
In the
don't
year
know,
that the Eastern Conference is down, they're in pretty good position.
very good position. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking about very good position, and if they can get Suggs back to be able to play, and Tyus can be the backup. Oh,
Yeah.
and Dez
All
makes
right.
shots, yeah, they're gonna be a problem.
A couple of things we didn't do taking care of business at the beginning of the show, but taking care of business, I now have my license and I now have tags for my car.
Good job, Dipsy.
I'm driving clean now, and whew, don't have to carry around the email anymore.
How's it feel? How's it feel? You feel
Feels good.
relieved?
It's liberating. It's liberating. Yeah, it's nice. It was really nice. So thank you to me for for doing that and getting
Thank
that
you
done.
to Dipsy for doing
Yeah, my wife did it. She went to the place. I mean, I had to
it.
get on her to do it. So so I got it done.
Oh,
That was good.
oh my God.
Also have a toast. Toast USA Soccer. They're in the Gold Cup final. So congratulations to USA. I watched the game tonight, thinking, okay, maybe this is something big, and maybe I should watch, and maybe it'll be entertaining. And they did. They jumped out to a big 2-0 lead early, and then they just escaped for just escaped 2-1 when it was all said and done.
I mean, throw it out.
But they're in the final on Sunday, so that's cool. Also, shout out Dwayne Lucas, a Hall of Famer trainer who became one of the most accomplished trainers in the history of horse racing. Died at the age of 89 this week. Won 15 Triple Crown races, including the Kentucky Derby 4 times. I know I won many races that were from horses trained by Dwayne Lucas. So shout out to Dwayne Lucas, one of the greats to ever do it on the horse racing trail.
Man, I never bet on your horses, D, but great job having winners.
Yep. All right. You got anything?
I got nothing.
Nothing? All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Good stuff, bro.
That was good, man. I was glad. Thanks for doing this tonight. I always appreciate you.
My, it was my pleasure.
I never tell you that on camera, so I just wanted to tell you that on camera.
Well, I appreciate you too, my friend. So, thank you very much. It was a great show, great finish to the show. That's going to do it for us here on Night Court. You can tune in again next week and each and every week wherever you catch your podcast. You can also tune in on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel and watch the podcast each and every week. And catch us on Twitter at The Fish Nation, at Brevin Knight 22, and the show at Night Court 22. For BK, I'm Fish. We'll talk to you again next week here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.